episode is sponsored by the Self-Care Revolution podcast. Oh, wait, that's actually me. No, but seriously, this is where self-care meets real life. Okay, if you've been pouring into everyone else, this, my friend, is your sign to change that. All right, you can tap in weekly. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to selfcaremattersdaily.com and you can find the link there. Okay, if something speaks to you, make sure you share it with a friend or leave us a review in the comments. Welcome back to another episode of the Self Revolution podcast. Okay, over here, y'all know we talk about mindset shifts, we talk about self-care, and just overall well-being. And today I have an awesome guest. Okay, this is someone that I actually know because he used to be my trainer and I need to get him back. But he is a father. He is an extreme motivator, emphasis on extreme. Okay, if you have not been on Facebook looking at workout stuff, then you probably haven't seen him. But if you know, you know. I want to bring to the stage Evolution Lewis. Welcome. I don't have any sound effects or anything like that, but I'm so glad that you're here.
Cool.
How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a class earlier because I'm trying to get better at this podcast and stuff. So I was taking a class for that. I did work out this morning. So I want you to know that. Because, you know, for the audience listening, I did spend some time training with Evolution Lewis. And as a person who is not new to working out, I'll say that, you know, he definitely gets his results, okay, in a short period of time as well. But the one thing that is that brought you to my mind is that I was watching TikTok, right? And it's a lot of people who are maybe they struggle with like getting started, or they struggle with lack of discipline. That's a big one. What would you say to those people? They probably sitting somewhere eating some French fries right now. What would you say to a person who has no workout experience, no nothing? As a trainer, you know, they wouldn't even probably approach you because, you know, he's in shape. You know what I mean? What would you say, especially to women?
The biggest thing I would tell people is once you get initially started, not only is this going to help you physically, but it's going to help you mentally. And you just got to take that first step because the longer you procrastinate, the longer it's going to take for you to get started on this process. And I know it's scary for a lot of people, but you'll be so happy that you did it because it's going to improve you so many ways.
So when you say that, right, I hear you. And I know that it's true because I went through it myself, right? Like on the times that I was like spending a lot of times not working out, I struggle with the self-doubt of, you know, can I do it? People, you know, you turn on the workout videos, people already sweating, and it's like, okay, no, I'm not about that life. But it's like, you know, it is mental. But when I hear you say that, I just be like, what do you mean by just start? Like, what is something like small that somebody could do? Because those habits build up over time, right? And people don't really understand that you have to start so that you could string together a bunch of consistent actions so you can see results. But in the moments where you're just getting started, you're not going to see no results. Like, so right. How do you keep your clients motivated when that's the case? Like when you know as a trainer that they're not going to see these results for like 2-3 months, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you keep them motivated? But even though I'm asking you how you keep them motivated, I know their motivation is not what we should rely on. We need that discipline, right? So what do you say? What do you say?
Well, I pay attention to once a person gets started, you'll pay attention to their progression. This is something that they're not going to see, but I'm going to see it. It could be where you initially started and maybe you stop a million times. And then that second time that you train, or third or fourth, whatever it may be, you lasting a little bit longer. So I'm going to point that out to you. I'm going to say, you didn't realize that you did it for the whole amount of time. And that individual will say, I did. And
I definitely
that
said
simple thing is going to be encouraging for them.
Yeah, I definitely was one of the people who was like, oh yeah, I
Hmm.
do see that you were noticing differences that I wasn't even paying attention to because I'm in my head like, I haven't worked out in a while or whatever. And it's like that part is what they need to get over because like you said, the more you do it, the more you can do. You'll notice that you get better each time. You know what I mean? But
Yes,
um
ma'am.
but not like I know that you know, especially in this field, like you're doing the fitness aspect and you do incorporate like self love. And so I'm heavy on the self love because your mind for me is stronger than your body. You know what I mean? You could be in a plank position and your mind gonna be like, we want to stop, but your body might be able to hold you up a little bit longer if you just try.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's kind of what stuck out for me. But you did definitely notice things that I wasn't even paying attention to. You know what I mean? So, like, how long have you been training?
I've been personal training for 13 years, and I've been in the gym industry for 25 years.
Wow. So, so you've been in it over half your life then.
Yes.
And so you realized then at a young age that you wanted to be helping people like this. Like, how did you even start this whole like for you're here now with the muscles and everything like that, but it wasn't always like that, right? Like, how did you like realize this is what I want to do?
So it's a real crazy story, and every time I tell it, people don't believe this. I didn't really start working out until I got into my 30s, and I'll be 46 coming up here soon in a couple of days. And
Okay.
but I started off working in Lowe's, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I'm in my 20s, and I drove forklifts for like 6 years. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting a gym membership. It was called Urban Active at that time. And the thing about it, this manager, he liked my personality, and he was like, "Man, you ever thought about getting into the gym industry?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I just want to work out." Well, he asked me a million times, and I kept rejecting him, saying I didn't want to do it. And then I got fired from my job, and then, long story short, I became a sales associate. And the first time I started selling gym memberships, I sold 15 in a day.
I know that's right. That's crazy. That's crazy. So it just stuck with you through that time, and you just like, so this is gonna be your life's work.
Yeah, it started becoming fun to me. And then with anything that when a person is doing something that is natural to them and they get motivated to do it every day, then you'll never work a day in your life. So this
That's
is this is fun to me. I If I could, I'd do it for free. That's how much I love it.
listen. I still am struggling to try to figure out how you came to that. Like I work out, but I don't like feel like that when I do it. Have you ever had a moment where your mindset and stuff wasn't where it's supposed to be?
Oh, that's every day. That's why having a trainer is so important. See, I had a trainer for 2 years, and he taught me everything because I was a high school athlete, so I thought I knew how to do
Mm-hmm.
everything. And literally, I would throw up every workout because he would push me to that limit. And what it showed me was that accountability is everything. Yes,
Mm,
I might know how to work out. That don't mean I know how to change my body. That don't
that's
mean that
true.
I know how to lower my blood pressure or whatever it may be, or my sugar, or get off blood pressure medicine. It
Mm-hmm.
just means that I know how to physically exercise, but I might not be able to cater to my body type, which you have ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph.
So that's like the body type, like you could be pear shaped. I can't remember all of the ones, but you said endomorph. I think that's what I am. I think I'm an endomorph. That's like bottom heavy, right?
No, so ectomorph is a person who is skinny. Mesomorph is a person that has somewhat a muscular shape, but they might need to do some fine tuning. So I would characterize you as a mesomorph. And then endomorph is a person that holds a lot of body fat.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. So, like when we worked out, you know what I'm saying? We started with a consultation, and you wanted to test some exercises and things like that. I think it was a total of 9 minutes. And in that 9 minutes, y'all, I wasn't like laid out, but I definitely felt the effects of the 9 minutes. And I was sold. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. You know what I mean? So, when we work out, he would give me different exercises, some that I never did before. But that brings me to another question that I wanted to ask you. Is there any exercise that you secretly hate, right? But you still make your clients do it?
Well, the one I hate the most, I don't make my clients do, and that's
What is it?
burpees. I hate
for real? You
burpees.
know what? You never did make me do a burpee.
I do
I
not do
appreciate
burpees.
that.
I hate burpees.
But they're good full body exercise. But why do you hate?
Yeah.
I could feel like you be doing burpees all the time. You don't do no burpees.
No,
I'm
never,
shocked.
never. I hate burpees. And burpees is more of a hip movement, but you can get muscle training in a burpee if you add push-ups. So it'd be more of it's really calisthenics. That's what you would call it, but it's a very good for cardio. You talking about my trainer used to have me gassing with that. Gassing.
Yeah, because burpees, while they, like I said, they hit a lot of muscles and everything. You add the push up to it. Like I was watching a girl this morning. She gets up on YouTube and she jumps rope and she works out. But this morning she was doing chaos push-ups. Have you ever heard of chaos push-ups?
I've never heard that name, but I bet you I've probably seen the push-up.
When I saw it, I thought of you because she said, "Let me do one," and she went over and she got down in the push-up position and she did a push-up. She did a shoulder tap. She did another push-up. She did a heel tap, she tapped her toe, and then she did 2 more moves. So it was like 8 moves in this one push-up. I was like, this has Evolution Lewis all over it. but like, so you work people out. But do you set aside time for your own self to work out? Do you do it with your clients? Like, what's your self-care look like for you? Like, how do you pour into other people, but then also fill yourself up?
That's a very good question. Being a trainer will, in most cases, it will drain you at the end of the day. So you got to really dig deep inside yourself in order to do your own self-care. That's why being a trainer is not for everybody.
That's true.
Because there's times I've went to Planet Fitness and I've sat out in the parking lot for 25 minutes and not went in. Like I did not want to go in. And then I had to really pull out the trainer in me to motivate me to say, man, you here, we going inside. So it's times like that where, I have my own personal training studio. I'll go a whole day without working out. So it's easy for me to say, well, you worked out, you done worked out, your body looks pretty good. Don't worry about it. We'll just take the day off. No, you got to be mentally strong as a trainer to put time into yourself.
I mean, yeah, because as a person who's not a trainer, like I was going to be a trainer. Well, I was kind of a trainer, but I was heavier on the self-care part and then we would do light workouts. But yeah, that life was not for me because if I did work out with somebody, okay, that's my workout for today. We're done.
Yeah.
So I do understand that or whatever. So a regular person already has to be, building that mental strength. And you have to do it extra, you know what I mean? So when you have people that come to you and they're like, I ain't worked out in years, and you all hype, we're gonna get you together. Like what is it? What is the mindset shift that you try to get into your beginning trainer people? Like the people who, maybe this is their first time they had a trainer, and they're coming to you. Like, what is that first mindset shift that they need to be focused on making?
The first thing is that by you coming in, you've already defeated half of everybody that hasn't gotten started. So that's the biggest thing. Because if you make the first initial step, and I tell them, you're going to be surprised how strong you really are. Because you never know what you can do until you do it. And prime example, I posted a picture of, well, I have a client that's been coming in. She hated working out, hated, hated working out. We've already transformed her body in 8 workouts. And it's a substantial change, but the biggest thing was she had been thinking about it for a long time. She had been following me, watching me for a long time. She finally came in and now she loves it. She said, I even found myself waking myself up to come in. So
That's
we
dedication right there.
basically changed the whole direction. I created the energy, and now every time she comes in, she's setting new marks every time.
I mean, I can attest to that though, because when I trained with you, I had 1 day a week, and that 1 day a week kept me on point with the other days of the week that I was supposed to work out, because I knew that when I came to see you that I had to be I had to be showing the results of having going through those motions of the other, exercise sessions or whatever. So that I will say, if anybody out there is against getting a trainer, because there's a lot of people that's like, oh, I don't need a trainer. And it's like, for some reason, when somebody is watching you do what you're doing, you don't want to stop unless you absolutely have to. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
want to keep going. It's something like unspoken, and then you talk through your workouts. Like when you're working people out, you be asking questions and stuff. And the first day I was
Mm-hmm.
like, is he for real about to try to talk to me while I'm trying to do these exercises? But what I realized after that was that actually helped me get through the workouts. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so you were silently motivating, but you were also very, very encouraging. You know what I mean? And especially for a woman with a male trainer, right? you know, a lot of times y'all can lack empathy. You know what I mean? A lot of times y'all be thinking, listen, all you got to do is this. You know what I mean? But you paid attention, and you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that. And that's why I wanted to do this interview, because a lot of people, it might be people out there eating some French fries right now, or maybe they're eating a protein bar. Maybe they've been thinking about getting a trainer. I was one of those people that watched you for a long time. And I thought,
Right.
even when you messaged me about it, I was like, well, I'm actually a trainer, because I was doing my own exercises, and I was studying NASM to become a certified fitness trainer. And you was
Right.
like, okay, I'm the trainer's trainer. And I was like, this dude. And so, but as I continued to watch you and stuff like that, I was like, you know what? Let me get with him real quick. And I was pleasantly surprised. And even though I'm not currently training with you, I best believe I get up and do my workouts, because I know one day you're gonna be like, hey, did you work out? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I am coming back too, because like you said, even though you might know exercises to do, sometimes another person with their expertise can get you to that next mark. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that's why I was like, I gotta interview him. But I want to get into you though, real quick. We talked about your fitness, why you started, and the things that you think people should change in their mindset. But if your clients were to watch this, what is one thing that they don't know, or they will be surprised to know about you? Like, what's one thing that you would share that your clients will be surprised to know?
That's a very good question. I would talk more about just my childhood of how I got to this point. As a child, growing up in school, I was bullied, and
I'm shocked about
you,
that.
huh?
I said I'm shocked about that.
Yeah, I was bullied as a kid. I was real nerdy, and I had big glasses, wore a bow tie, all these different things, and I used that pain and all that trauma to create what you have today. So if I could give any advice, don't allow how you start to dictate where you are, because you just never know what, and never be ashamed of what you went through, because everything that you go through is for the better good, and it's going to breed you into what you are supposed to be. So if I can just, if there's any encouragement, for anybody that's going through anything, or for anybody that's, that's dealing with something, just keep going. Because you never know what the outcome will be. And that's the one thing I would share. It didn't start off like this. I was skinny. I couldn't. I had the Jodeci body, Casey from Jodeci body into my 30s. And I
Oh my
thought I
God.
had a body then. So it was. I just this one day I just said enough is enough. I want to have a grown man body. I'm sick of it, and that's what happened.
You had a Jodeci body though.
Yeah, I did Jodeci body, and was had the shirt off all the time. Why I have no reason. I don't know why I have my shirt off.
So okay, because I've always been curious about this, right? Your arms are big as I don't know what. And like you got muscles all over the place. Like, at what point did you start to see the results that you had, that you had set forth in like, okay, I'm tired of having this Jodeci body, right? When you started, you didn't see results right away, but how long did it take you to get them shoulder muscles back?
To be honest, I did. It's when I got with my trainer, I started seeing a major difference. I actually did something called dirty bulking. For anybody that wants to gain weight, never do this. And what I was doing is when I was a general manager of LA Fitness,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually working for a gym, and I just kept trying. I just wanted to be big, and I didn't understand the difference between being big and being healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I gained all this weight. I got all the way up to 215 pounds. I was a big guy,
How
but I had
tall are you?
a stomach too. So I'm having big arms, big chest with a big stomach. And when I decided to, get more educated on it, and I got with somebody that pointed me in the right direction, that's when I started actually really seeing the
Mm-hmm.
results. Change of diet, muscle confusion, just doing workouts that was catered to my body type for what I was doing, because I was actually ectomorph. I was
Okay.
skinny.
Okay, so how tall are you?
I'm about 5'8", 5'8.5".
Okay. I was just curious about that when you said that you had got like big or whatever. So you mentioned, not to dirty bulk, right?
Yeah, don't
Don't
do
do
that.
that. But what would you say is your like because I want to know about you and what you actually do now, right? What's your go-to meal? Like what's your go-to meal like post workout or even pre-workout? Like what's your go-to?
To be honest, my relationship with food is totally different. I do things more on a medicinal way, because
Mm.
now I'm learning about um food being electric for the body. So
Mm-hmm.
see, and then I don't want to take up too much time with this, but I want to say this is that especially being people of melanated descendant, we have to eat food that is alive. And we do a lot of getting our nutrients from food that's dead. So, like when you're eating your chicken, your steak, and all this meat, that's what's causing all this disease and causing the being real tired. It's because we're not digesting this stuff that what we're eating. So now my relationship with food is I'm trying to be more veggies than anything else, and then occasionally fish. More of a pescatarian approach, because I'm not ready to give up meat altogether, but that's the transition of what I want to get into.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I grew up vegetarian and like
Nice.
didn't eat
Okay.
pork or nothing. But when I went to college and I met bacon, I was like, oh, bacon is bomb.
Hmm.
So I spent some time eating everything, and now I'm back to like I'm not vegetarian anymore, but I'm definitely pescatarian. I still eat some
Yeah.
chicken. I still eat some
Okay.
chicken, but it is you right. It's like your relationship with food has to change because I don't even look at stuff the same no more. Like when I go
Hmm.
out of here in a little bit, I might go get me a salad or something while I because I gotta go make a run. But I would normally get like a back in the day I would get, something fried, some fried chicken or whatever. And I don't even look at it the same because if I get it, it's not even going to taste at all that great, and then it's going to do
Right.
something else in my body. Like as I get older, I'm starting to notice what the food, how it makes me feel after I eat it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And you just feel so good after you eat amazing meal. Like, okay, we're gonna share. I'm gonna put your Facebook channel up, and I'm gonna put all your links in the description because you share a lot of good meals. You share a lot of what you do. You share your workouts. You share the results of your clients. You share meals and stuff like that. And you're also a man of God. That's another thing that made me actually sign up with you because I saw that aspect of you, and I was like, okay. And so that's probably how you also stay, in line with what your purpose is because of that too. Um, so yeah, I really, because like I said, I watched you for a minute, and it's a lot of people out here calling themselves trainers, and they always try to get you to sign up with them or whatever. But there was just
Mm-hmm.
something about the way that you approached me and the way that you were, doing your own business that I was like, okay, let me go ahead and sign up with this brother.
I
So
appreciate
yeah.
that.
But yeah, so what is it that do you have anything that you're working on now? I know you have the My Evolution workout gear that I still have yet to purchase, but I do need to do that. But I know you have the workout gear. What else are you working on right now?
Believe it or not, I'm in the process of doing a total rebranding.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's gonna happen immediate, but I have a business coach because
Mm-hmm.
right now, I gotta get my business to a point where, where I can kind of, you understand. I guess everybody's going through some things with how things are going. So I'm really trying to scale my business to another level, and I'm at a standstill on a lot of things, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to just kind of bring that extra fire into it. If it means that I have to do a different name or whatever I have to do, I'm trying to do a rebranding of what I've currently had. That don't mean that the passion gonna change, but maybe the name might.
So you have a business coach, you say, right?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
training a guy that's a business coach that's just telling me
Mm-hmm.
he's very successful. He works in the corporate world, and he's been like critiquing some of the things I do, and which that's not the easiest thing because
I
when you
know.
have passion in something, you don't want nobody telling you. But at some point, if you want to get to the next level, you got to be uh, teachable and coachable in order for that to happen.
That's a fact, and I think that that's a good idea. In your profession, you probably meet a lot of different people, so it's good that you're training somebody that has a skill that you need. You know what I mean? And I also want to ask you, have you ever thought about starting a podcast? Because what I learned about podcasting was that you have your business, and then your podcast supports the business. That's where you could let people get to know more of you, right? You could have people connect with you in a way where they may not sign up right away, but they're getting to hear you speak in depth about things that your clients struggle with, right? Like whatever, that's going to be different for everybody, but you've probably seen all kinds of clients and been a part of all types of transformations or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to know, have you ever thought about starting a podcast to support your training business?
To be honest, not so. I don't think that's really my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been on a couple of podcasts and speaking about it. I like doing stuff like this where I can kind of interact with different audience in that sense. But me having my own podcast, I don't think that's something that I would want to do.
You don't want to do the talking and stuff like that. You just want to take the action.
Yeah, I'd rather just answer the questions. That's what I would rather do. Just answer the questions.
Hey, I listen, I totally get you because it took me a while to get to this point where I think about podcasting like I think about it because when I start, it's just like with anything, right? It's your mind that stops you from like doing certain things. And even though I was already doing YouTube videos, I was just like, what am I gonna talk about on a podcast? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Right.
everybody trying to get a podcast. So but now it's kind of evolved to something else. So and I realized the reason why a lot of people don't work out. I realized the reason why people don't like get trainers and stuff like that. And it's just because they don't really understand how important your health is. And they wait until they get older and now you got all these problems. But you know, we need to start. That's why I ended up being like, okay, I need to talk about this from a woman's standpoint that used to be that procrastinator working out to try to get to the people who just aren't starting. You know what I mean? So they can try to get something from our conversation and stuff like that. So that's cool that you listen. If you had your own podcast, you probably wouldn't be on my podcast. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay, so if somebody could take only one thing away from this interview that we've done, what would you want that to be?
The biggest thing for this is I want you guys to understand that you will never lose money investing in yourself. And you will never lose time investing in yourself. I always go to like looking at it on a biblical sense. If you look at what is it? I think it's don't quote me on this. Corinthians 1 verse 16 and 17, where it talks about the importance of the temple. Your temple is everything. It's what it is. It's the beginning and the end. So if you can be the best version of yourself, everything that you desire will come with that. And if you could just put a little bit of time in yourself, you'll learn more about yourself. And the reason why I say this because I train a lot of psychiatrists, and most people want to deal with like mental health with just sitting down there talking, but they don't realize that when you improve what you eat and you improve your overall appearance, that's going to help with that mental health. Because the mental health is coming from the chemical imbalances of the food and the lack of exercise. That's where that mental health is coming. So if you just put time into yourself, first of all, you'll learn yourself. And second of all, you're gonna be the best version of yourself. And being the best version of yourself allows you to be the best version for a significant other, for your kids, everything. It opens up the door for everything.
You just pretty much summed up what my podcast is all about. Okay. Because the main thing that I always repeat is that the foundation of your overall well-being is physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional self-care. If you work on those four things and that's all you do, that means you moving your body, you paying attention to what you eat, you getting your spirituality in, and you processing your emotions. It's gonna spill out everywhere else. You ain't gotta worry about doing good at work. You're gonna show up doing good. You ain't gotta worry about being a good husband, whatever, father, sister, brother, because you're working on you so that you can be there for all of that. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love that. Now, the last thing that I want to do is I stole this from somebody else, but I like to do a little segment called Yay or Nay. I'm going to give you one thing and you're going to tell me yay or nay, right? And you can elaborate on it if you want to. And then I have two at the end that give you two choices. But okay. So the first one is pre-workout drinks. Yay or nay?
Even though I do some energy drinks, if you can find a natural way, I would suggest that you don't do it.
Okay. All right. Cheat days.
They're necessary.
Okay. How many cheat days do you have?
Lately I've been doing a lot of cheating. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, hold up. We gotta define what cheat day is for you, because
cheat day. That means cookies, cake.
You mean
all of it? Yes.
I'm shocked and appalled. Okay, what you think about gym selfies?
Gym selfies?
People that take gym selfies.
Oh man, do we got enough time? No, just kidding. Well, this is what I want to say about that. Some people go to the gym for a selfie, and they're not getting no work done. I don't have a problem with people taking gym selfies, but let's take it after the workout.
After the workout. I agree with that. All right, and so then the one I have two more.
Okay.
People that say that they only do cardio. What do you think about that?
Oh man. We got enough time for this one too? No. So I want people to understand that cardiovascular is for the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have specific goals on toning up, you're not going to tone with cardio. That's why it's called cardiovascular.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to increase your endurance, but if you do too much of it, it puts your body in a catabolic stage where your body start eating on muscle.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
don't want to overly do cardio because you're going to lose muscle.
And so yeah, I have had that conversation with a couple of people, especially when starting strength training. A lot of women think they're going to bulk up, but it's like, first of all, in order for you to bulk up as a woman, you got a long way to go. Okay, you got to pretty much be already in shape to try to even bulk up as a woman, but it's not going to affect you like that. But it's like cardio is some people's go-to, but I wanted them to hear from a trainer's mouth. Okay. And then my last one is upper body day or lower body day. Which one is your favorite?
Upper body day.
Why?
Legs is brutal. And let me elaborate on this
I
one.
feel like upper body's brutal.
Women and guys, if you get upset, if we have any guys on the podcast, women legs are ridiculous. I can take a woman through the most strenuous leg workout and they don't complain. The guys, they're going to complain for days.
For real?
Legs will destroy you. Like just the other day, I leg pressed what was it, 500 and I
What?
almost fell down my steps.
That's crazy. Okay.
So, but I hate leg day to the point where I have to psych myself up to do legs. That's how much I hate it.
That is so crazy. Listen, I have taken up enough of your time today. I just wanted to, like I said, coming from a perspective of a person who isn't like a gym rat, right? I'm a person who is just I'm a 47-year. I'm not 47. I'm 48. I'm a 48-year-old woman that I just want to be fit as I get older. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to run up the
Absolutely.
steps a little bit. You know, if a dog is chasing me, I want to be able to get away from that. I want to be able to carry my
Right.
groceries in. You know what I'm saying? Bend and reach and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I wanted to get questions answered from you, a trainer who's been doing this for over 20 years. You know what I mean? And you've seen so many different transformations. And I just wanted you to come on and share your gift with the world. And so, like I said, I want to thank you so much for being my very first guest. You're my very first guest on my podcast because I normally do my podcast solo.
Oh, nice.
I do it solo. And I said I never wanted to interview, but I felt like this was such a good opportunity. I was just sitting there one day and I was like, why haven't I interviewed Lewis? That's crazy. So I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. What I want
I
to do
loved
now,
it. Thank you for inviting me on. This has been very fun.
I want you to tell the people where they can find you. I'm gonna put it on the screen for them to, and I'm gonna drop the links in the description so that when they do watch this, they can, they'll know how to sign up with you. They'll know where to find your Facebook page and stuff like that. But tell them where you want them to find you.
The best place to reach me on is currently is on Facebook. I'm doing some fine tuning to my Instagram. Mm-hmm. I'm under Evolution Lewis, and my second page is L Body Changer. So I have two different pages that you can get in contact with.
Okay. Okay, so like you said, you're going through a rebrand and stuff like that. So if we connect them with your current stuff, they'll be able to find you as you go ahead and elevate.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Well, I already thanked you, but I want to thank the audience for listening. If you have any questions that you feel like I did not get out of Evolution Lewis, definitely leave them in the comments below. And if we need a part 2, we can come back and do a part 2.
Absolutely. Let me know. I'm ready.
This is the self-care revolution because it's needed. It's not something, self-care is not something that you earn. Self-care is something that you need to sustain. You cannot live in
Yes.
survival mode. It's not sustainable. So all of my ladies out there, even men as well, if you've been thinking about working out and you just don't have the energy or the discipline or the structure, then Evolution Lewis is your man. Okay. And when I tell you he is effective in a quick amount of time, he's effective in a quick amount of time. Okay. It's not going to take up your whole day. You're going to see results. You're going to see the results. All right. And another thing I like about you is that you aren't pushing a whole bunch of like supplements. You're not pushing a whole bunch of like, you're pushing, what did you tell me that, what did you call it? You was like, you are the BBL trainer without the BBL. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you said that, that's right up my alley because I don't want to do anything, that is like, you know, that's not natural, right? I want to be able to use my natural body and natural food to be able to do it. So that's one of the reasons why I like that. But if you're out there listening to this and you need a trainer, you need a trainer, you need the accountability, definitely connect with Evolution Lewis. All right, I'm your girl, Demita, and I'm signing off for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Okay.
Peace.
This episode is sponsored by the Self-Care Revolution podcast. Oh, wait, that's actually me. No, but seriously, this is where self-care meets real life. Okay, if you've been pouring into everyone else, this, my friend, is your sign to change that. All right, you can tap in weekly. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to selfcaremattersdaily.com and you can find the link there. Okay, if something speaks to you, make sure you share it with a friend or leave us a review in the comments.